What's up, everybody? Welcome to the R Lounge. Entitled mother and entitled dad want me to name my kids after them despite me changing my religion. This is the tale of my crazy mother. So, context. I, 29 male, and my wife, 27 female, are a mixed race couple. I'm white, she black Samoan. Because of this, I changed my religion from Christian to Islamic. My parents are devoted Christian white folk, so their pale, freckled, redhead child being with someone black and Islamic is a big no-no. They held it in for our wedding though, despite it not being a normal Christian wedding, and her family supported us, so we thought it was all good, right? Wrong. About 3 years later, we found out we were going to have a child, a girl, and we couldn't wait. My wife, let's call her Maya, wanted to name the baby after her sister who had passed away due to cancer. I immediately said yes, because I just want to make her happy. Plus, I like the name. Romesa, not a real name. When my parents found out, though, they were not happy. I went to their house. This was our convo. No, my dad isn't as entitled as my mom, but he is rather strict, even though we joke a lot together. Mostly he fears her and goes along with whatever scam she pulls.
Oh, hi, OP. How's your wife doing?
She's doing great. How are you?
I'm okay,
she said sadly.
But I was thinking of baby girl names for you.
Oh, thanks, but we already chose a name.
Oh, I know, Romesa. Anywho, I have a name that's perfect. It's my name. Isn't that a great idea?
Side note, my mom's name, I'm not going to say her actual name, is Maria, so not an Islamic name. Sorry, I can't. It's not Islamic and my wife wanted it, so I support it. She frowns before immediately getting cross and raised her voice.
Oh, please. I know my child more than you do, and I know you don't actually want that. You clearly want your offspring to have a nice Christian name,
refers to herself,
and be a devout Christian like me. Why are you being so selfish? I just want to be remembered in the family after I pass.
She was 52 in the story.
Think about the woman who raised and helped you become the man you are today, who stopped you from making bad decisions that are bad to Jesus. I bet your wife has intoxicated my baby's mind with evil thoughts against God.
I was a little ticked off by her at this point. Mom, calm down. I'm not your baby anymore and can make my own decisions.
This is ridiculous. Why are you so disrespectful? Are you possessed? You're not the boy I raised.
She then called my dad from upstairs. Now, my dad's never been a bad guy, just a bit selfish at times. He's mainly bald-head, orange Viking beard guy. So my dad comes rushing down as my mom starts bawling that I was being rude to her and I was on the wrong path to hell. Sweet old dad proceeded to give me an earful about how I need to apologize to my mother about stressing her out, then demanded I did as she said and name the baby after her, then promptly asked me, more like told me, to do the same with his name if we have a boy. I just left afterwards and didn't see them until the birth of my child. Of course, we put the original name down for our child like we intended, but my mother had apparently been telling everyone, and I mean everyone, about how we were going to name the child after her and how she would
be just like her with pale skin and dark brown hair with blue eyes.
Not sure how she got to that conclusion, but in her words,
God always finds a way.
She said it to everyone, friends, family, colleagues, so imagine my surprise when I started getting messages congratulating me on baby Maria. Also, she has my surname, aka her surname, and the confused messages I got back when I corrected them. They informed me. They told me about the delusion my mom made them think was my life. She said how I was married to a white Christian lady, I was becoming a pastor, and worst of all, they showed me images on her Facebook and social media of me with scraggy hair, a beard, and a leather jacket to me with short hair, clean, shaven, and church clothes on, taken at different times, and messages about how I was misguided as rebellious youth, and after she helped me find God, I straightened out and became what she wanted. The message that still annoys me to this day is,
my son is going to be the next Nicky Cruz, and I feel safe, knowing I have helped into making a person who will spread the word of Jesus and will make the world a better place.
I was so annoyed that she basically rewrote my entire life without me knowing, and how she wanted me to be. The final straw, though, was when I got to their house after my baby's birth. We went to my mother's house, who proceeded to hog the baby while looking not so pleased. The baby didn't look like her. Before asking, when is the baptism? I say, Mom, we're Islamic, remember? The baby is also Islamic.
What? How could you do this to poor Maria Jr.?
First of all, her name is not Maria. Second of all, I'm not some toy you can play with.
How dare you, after all I've done for you?
You haven't done anything to me other than be a pain. Come on, Maya, let's leave. We then left the party as my mother was yelling at us, crying that no amount of praying could save us for a path of sin. Worst part? She then keeps contacting my wife, telling her that she was ripping me from her and my religion, and how she could get a divorce if she wants to go to heaven. That type of stress should not be put on a new mother. She also keeps telling me to divorce and come back to the church and let her see her
grandbaby.
But she continues to call her Maria Jr. and refuses to accept the name we gave her. So yeah, that's my story. Thanks for reading. One quick comment before moving on, coming from Dilapidated Dinosaur. Whatever you do, don't leave your baby alone with her or anyone on that side of the family. I'm a Christian minister and I personally would not baptize an infant until several meetings with their parents' guardians. Even then, I'd need them to be a member of the church because of my denomination's understanding of baptismal covenants. However, I can see her finding a way and a church to get your little girl baptized as Maria Jr., then pitching a fit about using her Christian name, which is an antiquated, colonialist, gross concept. More importantly, in the US, baptismal documents can be used as legal identification documents. Protect your sweet girl. May Allah bless you with the gift of your daughter. May she teach the maturity of years, and may you be granted her righteousness. On to the next story. Entitled Mom Tries to Get Me Arrested for Helping Her. By now you probably know who's who. OP, me, Entitled Mom, Entitled Mother. NK, nice kid. OF, old friend, who's a cop. I'm 20 years old as of posting this, and the other day was my birthday. But boy was it the worst birthday I've ever had. First off, before I can do birthday stuff, I have my job at a VR arcade. I'm an hour or two into my shift when I see the spawn of Satan that is my entitled mother walking into the store. I ask her how long she'd like to play. She says 2 hours. I get them set up, normal customer so far. The 2 hours is up. Nice kid takes off her VR stuff and says thank you. Entitled mother is struggling, so I go over to help. I get the headset off of her, and she starts screaming in her banshee voice how I tried to rape her. I think to myself, here we go again, as this had happened many times before with entitled parents. For context, I'm in no way a shy person and I'm not afraid to shut somebody down. I then say in the most calm voice I can, ma'am, I'm simply helping you out of your gear because it looked like you were struggling. Entitled mother then says the most Karen thing we all know. Say it with me, let me speak to the manager. I pull a not so smart move because I am the manager. I turn around, walk into another room, and say, here I am. She obviously is pissed at that remark and then screams, I'm calling the cops. I start laughing my butt off because we have cameras. In my laughter, I just say, go for it. Nice kid tries to stop her heck spawn of a mom, but is just pushed away. Fast forward another 10 minutes or so of her mindlessly screaming. Old friend arrives. He does standard police stuff, asks her side of the story. I later find out she lied like hell, saying I brought her to one of the more private rooms we have, then brutally raped her. Old friend goes over to me and asks my side. Except, I pull out a Karen's worst enemy, the camera footage. I tell old friend. She was struggling and I helped her, then here we are. Of course, in the end, we watched the camera feed and she got arrested for false emergency, or whatever that crime is called. Our first reaction comes from Ross Aaron. I hate these people who claim rape and damage the reporting of real rapes. We can only hope she is charged with an offense for that false claim of rape and has jail time in compensation to original poster. Our next comment coming from No Regrets 518. Only 20 and you did a great job. If more than one person has complained when you assisted with removing equipment, I would be careful to never touch anyone or anything on them, as it could be misconstrued as an assault. It might help to have another employee there, but not 100%. On to the next story. Neighbors from Hell. I was reading a story of entitled people about neighbors and fencing, and it somehow made all those stories my mom told me about our ex-neighbors come flooding back. These all take place about 25 to 30 years ago, when my older brother was a child. My parents moved into our family house when my mother was a baby. The next door neighbors just so happened to also have a baby boy the same age. Also only child so far. I don't remember anything crazy about the dad, other than him just being a pushover. But the mom was actually crazy. For starters, they had 2 or 3 dogs that they'd lock inside for the weekends and just leave, and the poor things would bark non-stop. But things got actually crazy when the boys were old enough for play dates, usually in the connecting backyards. I won't give away any real names, but I'm not joking that the kid already had a demon name. I'll just call him Demon. And my brother we'll call Evan. So Evan would go over to play with Demon. They'd do the usual little boy thing, like play fighting and stuff, but Demon would actually whack my poor brother as hard as he could and laugh. Evan would come running back home crying constantly. The mom always shook it off and said he was being dramatic, or that her kid was just trying to have fun. He hurt my brother so many times, cut lips, bloody noses, etc., that he gave up trying to play with it. Then my mom noticed something weird. Anytime Evan would get something, like a new toy for his birthday, or a slip and slide over the summer, suddenly the next day, Demon would have one too, but it was bigger and better. I guess my mom did this so much it was insanely obvious. But the worst part is that one day, around 5 years old, they were playing doctor. Nothing ever got weird or went too far, but Demon told his mom that Evan did something inappropriate, which didn't happen, and she freaking lost it. She came over and screamed at my mom, accusing Evan of raping her son. And then, she went around to all the families in the neighborhood. There were a lot of families with kids the same age, and then most of them had a second around the same time as my parents. So they were all in the same age group and socialized and whatnot. But she went door to door and tried to tell all the parents what my brother had done, and tried to get my mom fired from her job. Thankfully, they all knew she was crazy, and knew that my mom was quiet and nice, and didn't even gossip about stuff. Needless to say, my mom didn't lose her job, but that lady lost her reputation in the neighborhood, whatever she had left. They moved when I was a few years old, and I actually had Demon's little brother in my grade. The little brother didn't seem evil, just weird. Sadly, I heard that she passed away around when I was 14-ish from a disease I can't remember. I think it was something brain-related. It's sad to think that maybe she was suffering from that longer than anyone knew. Maybe it affected her behavior. Our first response from Down Under Mum. She maybe suspected that she had brain problems, and that could have been the reason why she spoiled her children. Also, unfortunately, some of these brain diseases can be genetic, which could be why her children acted weirdly. But yes, her behavior could have been from a result of a disease attacking her brain. Next response from Muffin Mama 93. I think a lot of women who are mentally ill are misnamed as Karens. It doesn't excuse their behavior though. Next story. I kissed my partner, and my dad freaked out. So I'm a non-binary 15-year-old, and my partner is a 15-year-old gender fluid. We're both born female. Yesterday, I had my birthday party, and I invited my partner. We were sitting on the couch watching a movie away from my family, because neither me nor my partner would be good with a group of people. I went to kiss my partner, and then I noticed. My dad was standing behind me. My partner and I were terrified because he is homophobic. Later, he started yelling at me, saying this needed to stop and how it was a sin and that I was going to hell for doing that. I told my partner, and we both started crying. I hate to see my partner upset and hurt. What should I do? Edit. My dad and I have been avoiding each other. I still see my partner because we go to the same school. Also, please stop calling me a girl. I'm non-binary and use they/them pronouns. Also, for the people wondering, non-binary is that I don't fit in with male or female, and gender fluid is your gender can change throughout the day. I'll keep making edits if things change. Also, the reason my partner and I were on the couch away from everyone was because I get really bad anxiety around people, and my partner was calming me down. First reaction from Words Never Escape Me. Dad here. Don't stop being who you are out of fear people won't accept you. If they truly love you, they'll shut their mouth and open their heart. Next thought is a little in depth, from Charlie Worrells. Your dad is nothing but afraid. His actions aren't out of love. He is acting out of hate and fear. You're not going to hell for loving who you love, okay? That's not how it works. And you don't have to apologize for who you are, or who you love either. Parents have a really hard time accepting that one too. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. Perhaps one day, your dad will learn that his actions, like his beliefs, are counterproductive and harmful. One can only hope. All the best. One more comment from an unnamed person. Okay, so I'm going to be practical here as a queer person and ignore all these comments giving you platitudes about how you're not doing anything wrong. I mean, you're obviously not doing anything wrong by existing. However, you are 15. You are a minor. Your father is openly homophobic. I'm assuming transphobic too, presumably without you properly coming out to him. Avoid situations like that in the future. Any situation where he may figure it out, maybe avoid having your partner over for a while. Play straight, or at least not openly queer, at least until you're older and more secure. Sure, pride and all that. You definitely deserve to be able to live openly, but practically, as much as it sucks, your safety has to come first. It'll be much easier to stay closeted for just a few years, just inside your house, than it will be to adjust if your dad decides to, say, kick you out or worse.